Yeah, on the animal space, V-I-C-E, cause no vice is strong enough to go against.
What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. Feeling super stressed out today. Just because life is catching up, and I don't know if you guys can hear this dog barking. He's going nuts. It's not my dog, by the way. I don't know whose he is. Life is catching up, bills are catching up, and I don't know what we're gonna do financially. And that's got me like super stressed. And so I'm trying not to let that overwhelm me, because I know that stress in any degree can be a really big trigger for me. So, taking the time to record this, as opposed to allowing myself to use or create free time or downtime to relapse. I'm just so tired of being stressed. Life is too damn hard. It's crazy. But I'm working on one good day at a time, one positive thing at a time. I really like my hair today. I am a little concerned. Not concerned, but something I've started to notice. I'm growing my beard out again, and I said I was going to grow it out until Halloween just to see, because it's been a while since I've like really grown it out. And I'm starting to realize I think I might actually prefer it very close, not clean shaven by any means, but more of that stubble. When I had just the stash and some strong stubble, I think it looked pretty good. And I don't know, the longer that my beard grows, maybe I just need to get used to it again, but I think it almost makes my face look a little puffy or a little fluffy, where when I'm rocking more of the stubble, it's a little bit of a stronger jawline, which is ironic because that was why I grew out my beard to begin with, was because I wanted more of a chin, wanted the impression of more of a chin and more of a defined jaw. I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep letting it grow. Had a good day yesterday in terms of strength, resistance, avoiding relapse, and that's super good. It's always super exciting when I have that. Identifying not just the triggers, but in this journey of almost turning it into a game, it really has become almost a game in the very literal sense of what I'm creating in terms of visualization, to be able to find a fun, engaging, and interactive way in my brain to combat what I'm going through. And so identifying, okay, well, what are the biggest triggers, pathways, or enemies that I have to face and overcome in avoiding relapse into my addiction. And one of those that I think I've talked about already is making sure I'm getting enough sleep, not staying up too late. And so I've visualized that as this character, this Hollow Knight is, I think, what I've called it, and the idea there being this creature that the later that it gets, the more that it sucks you in to waste all of your time, and the later that it is, the more likely that I am to subject myself to relapse. So the easy, simple way to combat that is making sure that I'm always in bed sleeping by no later than 11 p.m. And I've been successful at that the last few days. Another one is being at work, being stressed out at work, and seeking that escapism. And so I've manifested that in this character, the Taskmaster Wraith. And that's not to throw shade at my employer, but that's the way that it feels sometimes when I'm stressed and overwhelmed. It has lots of mouths and no eyes, because sometimes what I hear in the feedback that I'm receiving from work is that I'm never seen, and I'm always being told that I'm not good enough, that I'm not performing well enough. And that kind of stress makes it very easy, especially when I'm surrounded by screens, to let those screens turn on and be allured to the glow and fall into temptation and relapse that way. And so I'm working on redirecting and finding some better habits by pouring into these projects and avoiding that. And that's gone pretty well. The other two big ones have to do with myself, my perception of myself, and my relationship. I love my wife. I love our relationship, but there are a lot of things in it that we need to work on and fix, and that's exactly why we're separated right now, to make sure that we can both pour into ourselves so that we can then pour into each other. And so there's two different variations or ideations of these concepts, and one is this shattered mirror character that represents all the warped, broken, and distorted pieces of our relationship, the hurtful communication that we can have between each other, the lack of understanding and seeing of each other when we aren't on the same page in what we believe and what's important and what needs to be healed. Then your greatest ally can cause a lot of discouragement because you're not seeing things the same way. And this is not an attack on my wife. It's just a realistic understanding of some of the things that create a lot of stress and tension for me is when I don't feel seen, when I don't feel heard or understood, when I feel judged and condemned for right or for wrong. It does make me more susceptible and more likely to seek escapism, to seek a quick hit of dopamine, to crave that, and to be more likely to relapse. And so that's a major one to overcome. And you overcome that by seeking to understand each other and communicate more effectively, and to lead with love first and putting judgment aside, regardless of each other's shortcomings. That doesn't mean you excuse those shortcomings, but you love each other and support each other through that. And then the last one that I kind of mentioned is myself. And, the darker parts of me. I have a lot of rage inside and a lot of self-hatred. And this is the one that I have to be really careful of after I've already had a relapse. And it's the negative self-talk and my own lack of self-confidence. And I destroy my own self-image. The way that I speak to myself, the way that I see myself is so negative that it will take what would be a moderate to mild relapse, and there's no such thing as a mild relapse, but intensity, frequency, and duration. It might take a relapse that's low intensity and low duration, and the negative self-talk will be so harmful and so detrimental that the stress and anger and anxiety that I have compounds and might turn it into high intensity, high duration, and high frequency, and make it so much worse. So the way that I need to continue to work on that is through the self-love and forgiving myself even when I do mess up, not to excuse it and to create justifications for that continued behavior, but to make sure that I don't make that behavior worse. So those are the four big baddies lined up here. I'll figure out some way to put them all. Good luck with that in post, me. And working on some other ones. There's going to be like the boredom golem, because I know that just generically speaking, if and when I'm bored, then it's easy to have that trigger, that temptation. That hasn't been a problem for me in some time, but I don't want to become complacent to that. So working on these monster cards, these smaller individual challenges to get through. Also working on character cards of my allies and my support. There's the card of myself. Everybody's the main character of their own story. So yes, I made myself the main character of this particular game, so to speak. But my allies, most notably, Jesus, my guy, my savior, my guide. And the way that I think of Christ in this game, if God is the game developer and he's created a way, yes, it's difficult, yes, there are bosses, but it's designed to be possible and intended to beat the game. God is the game developer, kind of like the dungeon master, so Jesus would be almost as if the game developer wrote himself into the game as your constant companion, almost a cheat code of how to get through. And all you have to do is ask him. He's not going to do it for you, but he's going to guide you through it. We just forget to ask more often than not. So that's my number one companion. My number two companion, kind of the Sam to my Frodo, is ironically not my brother Sam, but my wife. I don't know. That might be the first time I've ever said her name. I might actually censor or bleep that just because I'm not sure that she's, she doesn't know that I'm doing this. I just want to protect her identity until we've talked about it and she's on board with it. So, that's my, not my sidekick, but my physical constant companion, my partner through this journey. And you'll notice that she's a lot more badass than I am in her character design because I'm starting from nothing. I'm starting raw, not naked, but generic as your starter character that needs to add upgrades and tools and power-ups and companions. Now, my companions are already a little bit better equipped than I am to help me, and I need to lean on them for support. So that's why each one of these companions has more than my basic character card does. But so I've got my wife, and then I'm going to include my brother as my accountability partner, my parents, just all these support methods. And then I also want to create like item cards or spell cards for power-ups, different things that I can be doing realistically on a day-to-day basis. So yes, it's a little campy. Yes, it's a little, you can call it cringy. I don't care. It's something that's helping me right now because it's giving me power over something that I've struggled with for a long time. And if that's going to help, then I'm all for it. So look forward to more updates on that game. I'm still workshopping a title for what this game is, this quest, this adventure. But I'm having fun with it, and I'm making progress and haven't relapsed since I started this. Now, that's less than a full 48 hours since I started cultivating this concept, but I'm really looking forward to how I can use that to continue to further my progress. So I have to go back to work, back to the real world, back to stresses and bills and anxiety, but working on redirecting even when that is the case. Remember, you will die, so remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next one. Peace!